Hello everyone. In this course, I will introduce commissioning instructions for milling machine tool using HNC-8 type controller. The same with the commissioning for length machine. For milling machine, we also need to do some preparation for commissioning. Firstly, we need to know the system information. Steps to view the software information of HNC-8 type controller are as follows. Press the Maintenance button on the NC panel. Press the F8 System Information button. The System Information page display includes System Information, System Software Information, Server Software Information, and User Version Information. Then we can back up the parameters and PLC. HNC-8 type software upgrade includes 4 types: application upgrade, parameter upgrade, PLC upgrade, BTF all-inclusive upgrade. If you upgrade parameter, PLC, or BTF all-inclusive package, you need to back up the PLC and the parameters firstly. Otherwise, the PLC and the parameters in the original system will be covered by the standard parameters and the PLC after the upgrade is completed. The steps are as follows. Firstly, press the Maintenance key on the NC panel. Then press the F9 Authority Management key. Then press the F4 Logout. Select the user level. Only level above the workshop manager can back up. Then we press the F2 Login key, and then enter the authority password. Press the Enter button on the NC panel to confirm. The second step is press F1 Upwards key to return, and press F7 Date Management key. Thirdly, use the upwards, downwards, to left, to right buttons on the NC panel to select the type of date to be backed up. For example, if you want to back up the parameter file, select parameter file. If you want to back up the PLC file, select PLC file, and then press the Enter key on the NC panel to confirm. Now, the corresponding option will display checked. Fourth, use the U-disk and user disk keys to select the corresponding backup path. For example, to back up to a U-disk, we firstly insert the U-disk into the system U-disk interface. When the marks appear on the top of the screen, it means that the U-disk has been loaded. Then press the U-disk key. Fifth, press F9 Window Switch key. The window returns to system disk. Sixth, press F3 button, Backup. The system proposes, do you want to back up the selected file? Y means backup, N means no backup, corresponding to the Y key and N on the NC panel respectively. And we can choose Y to backup. In order to prevent accidents, we'd better go through offline debugging before the drive and motor are connected to the actuator. This link is particularly important when debugging large machine tools. The steps are as follows. Firstly, place the drive and motor on a flat and safe location such as the ground. Secondly, only collect the drive and motor, set the drive to Internet Enable, and check the operation. We should pay attention that if it is an absolute motor and it automatically rotates when it is powered on, it means that the motor needs to be returned to 0. Thirdly, connect the system to the drive and the drive to the motor, as shown in this picture. Restore the drive parameters to external enable and judge the communication by observing the drive indicator light or the device interface parameters to see if it's normal. If some devices are not disabled, you need to connect them one by one and troubleshoot them one by one. In order to ensure the safety of the commissioning personnel and the integrity of the machine tool, and to make it easier to diagnose the faults, we should observe the principle of step-by-step power on in the early stage of commissioning. Firstly, the CNC system is powered on, and other components remain disconnected and not powered on. Check the parameters and PLC to ensure that the PLC powered on part is correct, especially when there is a break on the gravity axis. Secondly, power on the feed drive. Check if the equipment's cable collection is correct and if the drive and the system are collected normally. Thirdly, power on the motor. Check whether the control of the motor is normal, whether the machine tool is running normally, and whether the limit position is valid. Fifth, power on the spindle model and check whether the spindle speed is normal. Fifth, power on the tool magazine. And here I will introduce some parameters for debugging. I will introduce one by one. Firstly, let's see the NC parameters. The NC parameters are the basic parameters of the NC controller, which are used to set parameters such as interpolation cycle and the calculation resolution. Secondly, machine user parameters. These parameters are used to set the machine structure, the number of channels, and other parameters, such as whether it is a lathe or a milling machine, the used channels. Thirdly, channel parameters. These parameters are used to set the relevant parameters of each channel. Different channels can perform different interpolation motions, and the channels do not affect each other. Double channel means that two different interpolation motions can be executed at the same time. Next, the coordinate axis parameters. These parameters are used to set the relevant parameters of the logical axis used in the channel. Then the error compensation parameters. These parameters are used to set the backlash, pitch error, and other related error compensation. And last one, device interface parameters. These parameters are used to set the relevant parameters of physical devices such as axes. After the hardware collection is completed, the system is powered on for the first time, and the configuration parameters need to be checked firstly. If the parameter shows that the corresponding device is not found, you need to recheck the hardware collection. Then I will introduce some important parameters that we should pay attention. In the NC parameters, we should pay attention to the parameter number 13, GOO interpolation enable. This parameter is used to determine whether GOO interpolates movement, that is to say, interpolate like GO1. 0 means that it doesn't perform interpolation operation, and 1 means that it does interpolation operation. And we should also pay attention to the parameter number 18, system time display enable. This parameter is used to set whether the CNC system man-machine interface displays the current system time. 0 means it does not display, and 1 means it displays system time. In machine user parameters, we should pay attention to the number 1 parameter, channel 0 cutting type. This parameter is used to specify the type of the station. 0 means milling machine cutting type, and 1 means lathe cutting system. 2 means turning and milling compound system. We should also pay attention to the number 165, reference point return delay time. This parameter is used to set the delay time from finding the Z puzzle to the completion of 0 return when the machine tool feed axis returns to the reference point. And in the channel parameters, we should pay attention to the number 1 parameter, X coordinate axis number. This parameter is used for setting axis number of x-axis in the current channel, that is to say, realizing the mapping between the feed axis and the channel and the logical axis. From number 0 to number 127, it specifies the axis number of the feed axis of the current channel. The value -1 means that the feed axis of the current channel is not mapped to a logical axis and is an invalid axis. -2 means that the feed axis of the current channel is reserved for CS-axis switching. After switching, the axis type is rotary axis in position mode. The -3 means that the feed axis of the current channel is reserved for C and S axis switching. After switching, the axis type is linear axis in position mode. In the axis parameters, there are 7 parameters we should pay attention. Firstly, axis type. This parameter is used to configure the type of axis. 0 means not set default. 1 means linear axis. 2 means swing axis, and there is no restriction when the system displays angular coordinate value. 3 means rotary axis. The angular coordinate value can only be displayed within specified range. When the real coordinate exists, we need to take a modular to display it. The value 9 means movable axis used as the spindle, and the drive is for the feed axis. And value 10 means spindle. And we also should pay attention to the parameter 4. Electronic georatio numerator. For straight axis, this parameter is used to set the distance that the axis moves per revolution of the motor. For rotation axis, this parameter is used to set the moving angle of the axis per revolution of the motor. And the 5th parameter, electronic georatio denominator. This parameter is used to set the number of the pulsar commands required for each revolution of the motor. And the 6th parameter, positive soft limit coordinates. It means that the limit position for protection on the software on positive direction. The range of the movement of the movable axis or rotation axis must not exceed this limit value. And the number 12 parameter, encoder feedback offset. This parameter is mainly used for the motor of absolute encoder, since the absolute encoder will feed back a random position value when it is used for the first time. So the user can fill this value into this parameter. At this time, the current position is the position of 0 point of a coordinate system of machine tool. And the number 34 parameter, max rapid traverse speed. This parameter is used to set the upper speed limit for faster traverse, like GOO. And the number 90, encoder working mode. This parameter specifies the encoder working manner by setting bits. We should pay attention to the bit 8, feed axis tracking error mode. And 0 means the tracking error is calculated by the servo drive, and the CNC system obtains the tracking error directly from the servo drive. And 1 means the tracking error is calculated by CNC system according to the encoder feedback. Then I will introduce the Lambda diagram PLC of Huazhong 8 type controller. Huazhong 8 type Lambda diagram PLC adopts a cyclical scan method. When the program starts to execute, the PLC will initialize when it is powered on or reloaded for the first time. After that, all input states will be set to the input emission register, and then it will call in order the program PLC1 and PLC2. When a scanning cycle is completed, all results will be transferred to the output emission register to control the actual output of the PLC. To realize the operation of the Lambda diagram function on the CNC system, it is necessary to enter the authority of machine tool manufacturer or the authority above the machine tool manufacturer. press lambda diagram in the diagnosis operation interface to enter the lambda diagram operation interface. Select the lambda diagram monitoring function key to enter the lambda diagram monitoring operation interface. This interface includes 7 function keys: program list, find, disabled, enabled, undo, lock list, and cross-reference. Let's introduce one by one. Firstly, program list. This function is to display PLC program block. And find. We can find by type, such as stress find, instruction find, output find, number find. And we can also choose to continue finding, such as next, previous. And we can also find by scope, such as local search and global search. Thirdly, disabled. Move the cursor to an element, then we click disabled. Then this element turns red, which means that this element has been disallowed. Fourth, enabled. Move the cursor to the element, press the enabled key to activate the element. As shown in this picture below, the cursor is moved to the component, and the component turns green after pressing the enabled key, indicating that it has been activated. In this picture, the element X3.0 is normally open. After the cursor is moved to X3.0 and press enabled key, the element turns green and changing from open to closed. Fifth, undo. Undo function key. Move the cursor to the component and press undo. You can cancel the operation of shielding or activating the element. After the function is disabled, press the undo button. The red display of the component disappears, indicating that the component function is restored, as shown in the picture below. Sixth, lock list. The main function of the lock table is to write specified date to the register and lock the register menu. Currently, the system only supports writing, locking, and unlocking for X and Y register. And last one, cross-reference. The function of cross-reference is similar to that of register search, mainly used to find the reference relationship of register information in the global scope. And how to use it? We move the cursor to the register you need to find. Click the cross-reference button. The system will automatically pop up the cross-reference block diagram. Then I will introduce how to edit the lambda diagram. Select the lambda diagram edit function key to enter the lambda diagram entered operation interface. This interface includes 16 function buttons, such as program list, straight line, normally open, normally closed, logical output, inverse output, vertical line, delete vertical line, find, delete element, function modular, edit grade, list edit, double coil, update modification, and delete modification. Let's introduce one by one. First, the program list. The same with the program list that we have introduced above, it displays the PLC program block. And second, the straight line. Press the straight line function key. We can insert a straight line in the lambda diagram. And then the normally open. Move the cursor to the position where the normally open needs to be inserted and press the normally open function key to insert the normally open at the specified position in the lambda diagram. Fourth, logic output. Move the cursor to the position where the logic output needs to be inserted and press the logic output function key to insert the logical output at the specified position in the lambda diagram. Fifth, function modular. The function modular includes all function instruction lists and corresponding help files for numeric control system. For example, when the cursor moves to the position of the axis working mode, press the help key, and the system will display the help instructions of corresponding function modulars. If you do not want to view the help file, press the System Confirmation button on the function modular corresponding to the cursor in the function instruction list, and the system will insert this function modular into the current PLC. Sixth, edit grade. Editing the network includes insert line, delete line, insert row, select grade, copy grade, share grade, paste grade, and delete grade. Insert line. Move the cursor to the next line of the line to be inserted and press the Insert Line key to insert a line. We should pay attention that the inserted line shall be above the line where the cursor is located. And delete line. Move the cursor to the position where the entire line needs to be deleted and press the Delete Line key to delete this line in the PLC render diagram. Insert row. Move the cursor to the next position where the row needs to be inserted and press the Inserted Row button. Fourth, select grade. Move the cursor to the line you want to select and then press Select Grade button. The selected line turns blue. Press the Select key again to select the next line of the current line. Select the selected grade to perform following operations such as copy, share, paste, and delete. Okay, this is the general introduction of commissioning for mini machine with HNC-8 type controller. Hello everyone. In this course, I will introduce the commissioning and the debugging for Huazhong 8 type controller for mini machine. Firstly, before debugging, we need to do some preparation. Firstly, we need to know the system information of the NC controller. How to check the software information of the HNC-8 type controller? Firstly, we click Maintenance on NC panel. Then Return. We choose F8 System Information. The system information interface includes system information, system software information, server software information, and user version information. We should know this information firstly. Then we back up the parameters and the PLC of the system. Now I will introduce the way to back up the parameters of the system. Firstly, we return to the main interface of machining. Click Maintenance button on the NC panel. Click F9, Rights Management. Click F4, Log Out. Now we can choose user level. We choose the level of System Administrator, then log in, and input password HNC-8. Click Enter. Now the system proposes correct password. Click F1 button, back. Click F7 button, Date Management. The Date Management interface shows many types of date. What we should back up is the parameter file and the PLC file. Now I will give an example. Through uploading our U-disk, we can back up the parameter file or PLC file in our U disk. Now let me introduce the steps. Choose the files that we need backup. For example, now we choose the PLC file. Click Enter on NC panel to upload U disk. Here the system fails to upload the U disk. We click Reset, then click Enter. Now our U disk has been successfully uploaded. Then we press Windows Switch button. And move the cursor to the file that we want to back up. Now the cursor turns to blue. Then we press F3 button, backup, and now the system promotes backup the selected file. We click Enter. Now system promotes successfully backup. Now this file has been backed up in our U disk with date. And it also shows the initial date of this file. This is the file name, 808.dimdit. The second main step for commissioning is the parameter setting. Firstly, we click Maintenance. Now the cursor is on NC parameter. In NC parameter, we should set some common parameters. For example, the parameter number 12. Tool axis selection mode. This parameter is to decide for which axis we should use tool length compensation command, G43 and G44. Then let's see the second parameter, machine parameter. In machine parameter, we should pay attention to the number 1 parameter, 010001. This parameter means the cutting type of channel 0. 0 means milling, 1 means turning, 2 means milling and turning compound cutting. Then let's see the parameter. The parameter number 83, drill tap canode cycle type. There are 4 values for this parameter. The first value is HNC-8. When the value is 0, it defaults HNC-8 controller command. The second value, 1, means Syndac. The third value, 2, means Mitsubishi system. The fourth value, 3, means Fanuc system. There are 4 types drill type commands. Then let's see the channel parameters. In the channel parameters, we should pay attention to parameter number 30. We move the cursor downwards. This parameter means default feed rate of channel. When the program compliant in the current channel doesn't give the feed speed, the system will use the default feed rate specified by this parameter to execute the program. Then let's see the next parameter. selected block mode. There are 4 values for this parameter: 0, 1, 2, 3. Then let's see the axis parameter. In axis parameter, we should pay attention to the first parameter, axis type. This parameter is to set the axis type for the physical axis for the machine. 0 means not set default. 1 means linear axis. 2 means swing axis. 3 means rotary axis. Then let's see the next parameter. The parameter number 4, ELG ratio numerator. For straight axis, this parameter is used to set the moving distance for axis when the motor rotates for 1 revolution. Then let's see the fifth parameter, ELG ratio denominator. This parameter is to set the number of puzzle instructions required for each revolution of motor. Then let's see the sixth parameter, positive software limit coordinate. It means the limit position for protection on the software on positive direction. Then let's see the next parameter, number 12, encoder feedback offset. This parameter is mainly aimed at absolute encoder motor, because the absolute encoder will feedback a random position when it is firstly used. Users can feel the 0 position of the machine for this value. Then let's see the parameter number 34, max rapid traverse speed. This parameter is used to set the speed limit for fast traverse for GOO. Next, I will introduce the third step for debugging HNC-8 type mini controller. HNC-8 type controller will do a cycle scanning. When the program starts to execute, the PLC will initialize when it is powered on or reloaded for the first time. After that, all input states will be set to the input emission register. Then it will call in order the program PLC1 and PLC2. When a scanning cycle is completed, all results are transferred to the output emission register to control the actual output of the PLC. For debugging of PLC, firstly we click Diagnosis. Then click Render Diagram. Select Render Diagram Monitor. Then we will see the page of Render Diagram Monitor. The Render Diagram Monitor interface includes 7 functional keys such as Program List, Find, Disabled, Enabled, Lock List, Undo, Cross-Reference. Firstly, let's see the program list. Its function is to show the program block of PLC. Find. The Find interface includes Address Finder, finding based on address, Instruction Finder, finding based on functional instructions. Output finder, finding based on output results. Number finder, finding based on PLC number. And finder scope. Then let's see the disabled function. Firstly, we move the cursor to an element. We click Disabled and we can shield this element. After clicking Disabled button, this element turns red, which means that this element has been disallowed and cannot be collected. Then let's see the function of Enabled. We move the cursor to an element, then we click Enabled. Then we can activate this element. Now this element turns green, which means that this element has been activated. Undo. We click Undo. Then move the cursor to the element. Then we can cancel the disabled command or activation command. Lock list. Lock list is mainly used to write designated date of register and lock register value. Currently, the system only supports writing, locking, and unlocking for XY register. Cross-reference. The function of cross-reference is similar to find registers. It is mainly used to find the reference relationship of register information in the global scope. These are all the functions and using manner for lambda diagram monitor. Then let's see the function of lambda diagram edit. Click this button and we can enter into this interface to edit the lambda diagram. The lambda diagram edit interface includes program list, straight line, open, closed, logical output, CPL output, vertical line, delete vertical line, find, delete element, functional modular, grid edit, list edit, double coil, update modification, undo modification, these 16 functional keys. These functions are the same with Huazhong 8 type controller for length. We don't introduce any more here. Okay, this is the general introduction of commissioning for milling machine with HNC-8 type controller. Thanks for listening.